safety, dropped in the end zone. It's Niehaus. Oh, man, that one will get in. That's a good point right there. A shot coming here. That's a goal. Lifted to left center field. Gets off the warning track into the wall. Transition three. Boom. Knocks that one down. And it's a goal. What a beautiful play. Dutton, look what I found over to first. It's a 3-on-1 all the way. Yes. There he goes.
You're home for the Bobcats. KFJB-TV.
Welcome into Bobcat Live here at Rosie's inside a Wayward Social. Cold outside, but we should have a really good show tonight. Start off, if you're already here, $2 off of cheese balls. If that sounds like a great deal, you might as well just come down here in person. But we have lots of good things happening throughout Marshalltown athletics. We have a 4-1 girls Bobcat basketball team. That's pretty incredible. We've got a 2-2 Marshalltown boys basketball team, winners of 2 in a row. We get to talk swimming as well. And actually, we even go to the pitch here tonight. We end with Stacy Galima with some good things happening with the Marshalltown Bobcat girls soccer team. But I am with the puppet master of it all, activities director, Ryan Isgrig. Ryan, it's great to see you here tonight.
Great to see you, Dylan. Thank you.
You're welcome. You jaunted over from wrestling, but I'd like to talk summer sport because why wouldn't you in December? We do know the softball complex are getting new bleachers and everything, which were much needed. A baseball field is doing new lights. I know there's not a lot of construction happening right now, but for the Bobcat fans out there, where are we at in that process, and when do you anticipate all that being done?
Yeah, concrete slabs are poured out at the softball field, ready for those new bleachers to go up anytime. As soon as the weather gets a little better, they'll be up. That's Coach Jim Palmer. His company's doing the bleachers, and he did a really good job on our visitor bleachers during the stadium complex project. So, we're really excited for that, and we'll get some help upgrades on our baseball lights as well sometime this spring.
And with before we turn the page totally on fall sports, I know there's been a lot of all conferences, postseasons that maybe you haven't had a chance to talk about here on Bobcat Live. A real snapshot of the fall season. As the AD, how did it go with your expectations with what you saw on the fields, on the courts?
Yeah, overall I think it went well, and we had many highlights, individual team highlights, of course. You can talk about a lot. I don't want to forget anyone, but
yes,
exactly. Highlighted by the boys cross country team making state, and volleyball had a great year. Football finally got a win on our new home field.
Yes.
Boys golf, of course, state qualifier, Ty Faltis, and conference champs again for boys golf. So just a lot to be proud of, and it's fun too to see a lot of those kids go from a fall sport that are now in a winter sport and representing and doing some really good things as well.
Yeah, one of those here tonight. I was looking at volleyball all-conference. Honorable mention, Ellie Hughes is going to be on, not because of the bump set or the spike, but because she's killing it on the basketball court. Turned into Steph Curry the other night, knocking down 2 threes. So lot to talk about there. But let's flip it to winter sports. We're on the precipice, really starting to get things rolling. Basketball doesn't seem we have home basketball games so far. But from your perspective, wrestling's in the roundhouse. You've got boys swimming, basketball. How's it going so far to kick off the season?
I think we're off to a great start. I mean, you highlighted a lot of it. Of course, shout out to our girls basketball team, 4-1. I mean, that's awesome, and I know those girls have worked really hard. And boys basketball's had 2 really good wins. We have a big home swim meet this Saturday. Teams from all over the state coming, and of course, bowling as well did good. Our boys bowlers beat Ottumwa the other day.
Yes, they did.
And they're at home this Tuesday. So, and then of course, wrestling. I was just as I was leaving, we were winning the duel with Des Moines Lincoln. Got second at Williamsburg last week. Beat ranked Ames, and of course the girls are doing really great things as well. So I'd say winter's off to a good start. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to do a lot of weather watching tomorrow because here comes the fun Iowa weather. But nonetheless, that's why we do it. We want to get our kids' places safe, and hopefully we'll get a lot of good events in this weekend.
Before I let you run back to the Roundhouse, you said weather watching, and we talked off the air a little bit about it. 30 seconds, 40 seconds, take us in the mind of ADs when you know bad weather's coming, when you're not trying to mess with schedules, because especially later on in the season it kind of gets crazier and crazier of how do you fit it all in. So what goes through a mind of an AD? How are you looking? What's indicating your decisions?
Yeah, well, usually whatever decision I make's wrong. We'll say that.
Yes.
No, it obviously very hard to predict the weather.
Yep.
But yeah, we're working with the transportation director and the visiting schools and not just what it's doing in Marshalltown. What's it doing up in northern Iowa. And yeah, of course you have to communicate to a lot of people. You guys and officials. Game workers, things like that. So there's a lot of people wanting to know an answer. So do your best to try and update it.
Yep.
Sometimes you want to wait till the end to see, because maybe the weather will change. But at the same time, you don't want to wait too long, because then, people want an answer as well. So it's tough, but you just do your best. And at the end of the day, you always want to do what you think's the best choice safety-wise. So it's. But the good news is, if we do have to cancel a few events this weekend, then it's early enough in the year we can hopefully get some stuff rescheduled. So.
All right, I'm happy that's you and not me. That has been AD Ryan Isgrig. When we come back, we will get into the pool with Coach Mike Lupe. You're watching Bobcat Live here at Wayward Social.
Wayward Social is the place for fun. With 20 lanes of bowling, leagues for all levels, great food and drink options, an awesome arcade, there is a ton of fun to be had at Wayward Social for date night, family fun, or the company party with plenty of space for everyone. Visit Wayward Social on Facebook for updates on specials and live music. It is all on South 6th Street in Marshalltown. Visit wayward-social.com to start planning your group outing at Wayward Social, the place for fun.
You planned and saved for your child to go to college, but medical school after graduation was a surprise. A happy, expensive surprise. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When opportunities surprise you, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
Welcome into Bobcat Live here at Rosie's inside of Wayward Social. They've got a great thing going on from the 8th through the 13th of December is Ugly Sweater Bowling. All you have to do is raid Brandon Lewis's closet for one of his ugly sweaters, and you get a free shoe rental. So that's from December 8th through 13th, but now I am joined with head Bobcat swim coach Mike Lupe. Mike, you're a couple duels in, and then weekend where you place second. How has this season matched up with expectations early on?
So far, it's gone the way we've hoped.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of guys that are out for fall sports. We've got a couple of football players, a couple of cross country runners. So to get into swimming condition is always the first order of business, and that's kind of hard. We're in week 5 now. Yeah. They're actually starting to look like they know how to swim again. Yeah. Our first meet against Ames is a little bit down this year. They've only got 30 kids, and we actually were quite competitive with them. I think that bodes well for the conference meet later in January. And then we had a real competitive meet with Roosevelt, and again, close score. We weren't quite where we wanted to be. Had a couple of guys sick. We have one football player, Mike Lechner. He plays at West Marshall. He broke his hand and actually had to have surgery. He got cleared the day before Roosevelt.
Oh, wow.
So we kind of threw him in the water without much practice. So as we get healthy and we get into shape, things are looking pretty good for us.
And it's interesting, after this we will have Charlie Gilbertson and Lincoln Barker on, both fall athletes, both different sports. So what would you say from Charlie coming from a cross-country or running perspective and Lincoln coming from a football perspective. How is that different?
Swimming is unique. It's a cardiovascular sport. It uses your entire body. You're isolated by the water, and you're swimming back and forth following a black line. It takes a very different mental frame of mind to be able to do that and then be successful at the level that Charlie and Lincoln are. Coming out of football, Lincoln had a great football season. I go to the games and I hold my breath when they're on the field. For things like Michael breaking his hand.
Exactly.
But Lincoln, while he was in great football shape, we need he's just now rounding into swimming shape. And when he uses his length, he's got a dolphin kick when he comes off the wall and decides to use it. It is literally a weapon that very few kids in the state can come off a wall like Lincoln can. And so we're working at making sure he understands that and he utilizes that. Charlie's been swimming more year-round. Just a great kid, enthusiastic. He gives you everything he's got every day. I think if I told Charlie to jump off a cliff and it'd make him faster, he'd probably be the first one off the cliff. So I can't. Coach Delaney and we can't be more happy with the kids. They're great kids. They work hard. And they do everything we ask. And I think any coach, that's all you can ask for. And we'll keep getting better. And by the end of the season, we'll have some things to be pretty proud about, I'm sure.
And so you look at that, you're 5 weeks back into the season, and it's always that weird thing for the winter sports. You get rolling, and then you get break. So what are your main goals for the team from here till 2 weeks, and then you're on break?
Oh, we're not on break. The guys don't like Christmas break much because we will swim. We swim a classic workout called 12 Days of Christmas. That is basically.
It does not sound as merry as what the name and title.
One year, I believe it was Aaron Gervich. With the girls play Happy Christmas music while they're grinding this 9,300-yard workout. And Gervich looked up at me and he goes, "I think, Coach, have you seen Clockwork Orange? I think you're trying to make us never want to listen to Christmas music again." But we'll swim hard on the 23rd. We will take the 24th, 25th, and 26th off, and then we'll be in the water 2 times a day the rest of break. And the guys don't like it, and they beg my wife. Sometimes I bring them in a third practice during that time, and so. They're happy to go back to school, and we get a lot of work done over that break.
So as a coach, it's almost a benefit. You get more time with them in that. So I want to look forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow, Bobcat Relay is there. Hopefully everything gets in weather-wise, but crossing the fingers is so. For those that may not be familiar with some of these swim teams, what are you going to be seeing, not just from, of course, a Bobcat perspective, but the competition coming in?
It's going to be real interesting the way it shakes out. I think the team scores are going to be close all the way through. Starting with Cedar Rapids Kennedy, they're just below us in the power rankings. They've got 3 real strong swimmers, and so it'll be interesting to see where they decide to go. We've got 2-man relays in the individual events. And we're putting forth our best lineup, and we can kind of guess where they might go with their strengths, but Kennedy will be right in the hunt. Spencer has a couple of real good sprinters, and Newton, they've got a kid by the name of Finn Martin. Okay. If anybody's paid attention to sports in Iowa, the Martin kids, they had
Oliver Martin's little brother.
Oliver Martin's little brother. And Oliver swam on 2 state championship swim teams at Iowa City, and Finn is a much better swimmer than Oliver. Okay. He's only a junior, and he is already signed with Notre Dame.
Okay.
To swim. So we have a very legit D1 swimmer coming to the pool. And I will probably just stop and just watch that kid swim. He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So it's, and I always tease his granddad. I played handball with his grandfather for 20 years, and I taught Finn's dad how to swim when I was growing up in Newton. So I keep telling him he needs to move to Marshalltown so we can have Finn for a couple of years, but I haven't quite talked him into that. But so he's real strong. So it'll be fun to watch the races, and things get away in one end, and then an anchor leg runs down. Last year, one of the best swims I've seen in years, Finn Martin led off Newton's 500, and Cade Randall did his best, hung as best he could, but he was a full 50 yards down.
Oh, my goodness.
And then Lincoln hit the water, and just watching that entire 500, he just closed, and ran the kid down, and we won the race.
Oh, wow.
So that was one of the best funnest 500 swims I've ever watched Lincoln do. So it's an exciting, the relay format makes it real exciting, and we're looking forward to some good swims on Saturday.
Well, fantastic. And when we come back, we get to talk to Charlie Gilbertson and Lincoln Barker, the aforementioned athletes looking to make an impact in the pool tomorrow at the Bobcat Relays. You're watching Bobcat Live here on KFJB-TV.
At Sports Plus Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Center, we customize each patient's treatment plan to their individual needs. What does that mean? It means that not every back or knee problem is treated the same, and that your program will be unique and designed especially for your needs or problem. This improves how quickly you will return to work or sports. The Sports Plus staff is encouraging and takes pride in your successful recovery. This is just one more reason why champions choose Sports Plus Physical Therapy as their favorite place to rehabilitate and train.
McGregor's Furniture and Mattress is your local furniture store in Marshalltown, and they are proud to support Marshalltown Bobcat Athletics. If you want to kick off football season in a new recliner, pass the bread at a beautiful new dining set, or lay up on a luxurious sectional sofa, McGregor's is the right play. Score the mattress of your dreams with an assist from their friendly and knowledgeable staff. You'll be the household MVP when you bring home the winning selections at McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, downtown Marshalltown. Open 7 days a week.
Welcome back into Bobcat Live here at Rosie's inside of Wayward tonight. If you like cheese balls, we got a great deal for you. There are $2 off here tonight, but we're going to talk some more swimming. Last segment we had Coach Mike Loopy, but now we have both Charlie Gilbertson and Lincoln Barker with us. Charlie, I want to start off with you. Really getting into the pool, your 100-yard butterfly and backstroke, you've been really solid this year. Out of anything that you swim, what's your favorite to swim?
Well, my favorite to swim would be the 100 butterfly. But my absolute favorite or overall favorite would be the 200 butterfly, but you can't swim that in a high school lineup. So Coach Loopy will make me eventually, so far this season, well, maybe in the next meet or so, swim the 200 butterfly during the 200 freestyle JV. But that's my favorite.
So that's an interesting thing. So they're just running the 200-yard freestyle JV level, and you're looking at the butterfly. How close is that? You coming into the JV level, dropping the JV level, but going with a different stroke?
It depends on the meet, but for the most part, I win the heat.
Okay, that's impressive. Now, Lincoln, we're going to come over to you. You, of course, have had similar success. Coach just talked about the relay last year, but tell the audience kind of the races that you go after and then your personal favorite.
So I'm a distance swimmer, so I swim the 200 and the 500, but I think the sprints are more fun for sure.
And with that, with you all from state qualifying last year, and now handing it off going into your senior year, what did that experience for you propel you going into the off season into this year coming up?
It's a lot more responsibility, that's for sure, because you have little guys you have to make sure are doing the right thing and keeping them on track.
So for you, as you're looking at the end of your career, who was the person in the pool that when you were a freshman, getting ready, freshman, sophomore, who was the one that kept on you that really helped you excel as a swimmer and now being a leader later on in your career?
I'd say Dane Petty. He was a really good guy. He was always competing with me, and I remember the 500, it was always both of us. and he would always tell me, "You better beat me," and I did at one point, and up there from.
Love it. All right, Charlie, for you when you're looking at it, what did qualifying for state? What did that help you? That experience help you coming in to your senior year?
So coming into this senior year with qualifying for state, I'm reassured in the fact that in my butterfly and just my stroke, it allows me to focus more on certain issues and problems within that, and to better within that for practice and to focus on that.
And then again, who was that? Lincoln talked about Dame Petty. Who was that person as you look back as a senior that was really influential at the beginning of your Bobcat career?
It's really hard to pick one as a freshman because we had a really strong senior class, but people like Stephen Blum, Marcus Barker, Aaron Seaberger, all of those guys were just very impactful, just with being a strong senior leadership and me taking notes from what they told me as a freshman, trying to implement that now, and just their hard work ethic and getting after it, just taking that advice into the pool now.
Okay, here's a final question that I have, and it's only because I didn't grow up swimming. My kids don't swim, so I'm not at a lot of meets, but we host the girls' state swimming and diving. And I remember the first time I went in there, swimming may be the most incredible spectator sport when it just comes to sheer noise in the pool. So, Charlie, you do a lot of running, which, of course, that can get loud in points. What is a better spectator sport? Is it running or is it swimming?
Well, for running, for cross-country wise, it's pretty fun because you can run around and cheer. That's pretty fun. But overall, I say it would be swimming because then you can get your own teammates at the end of the lanes hollering at you, going. It echoes well in the natatorium. You have if you go to Iowa City for the boys' state meet, it gets pretty loud in there. It's just a solid time for swimming. You just hear all the echoes and all the crowd. And they may be a little bit smaller, but they're definitely louder.
All right, Lincoln, Friday Night Lights or in the pool, which is louder?
Well, when you're underwater, you hear nothing, that's for sure. So, definitely Friday Night Lights, but I'd say you just tune everything out when you're on the game. So,
sweet. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and that has been Charlie Gilbertson and Lincoln Barker. When we come back, we will switch gears. We will get on the hardwood and out of the pool, and we will have Coach Michael Apple. His Bobcats have won 2 in a row. You're watching Bobcat Live here on KFJB-TV.
Your future starts now. Marshalltown Community College is now enrolling for spring classes. Whether you're pursuing a degree, certificate, transferring to a 4-year university, or just looking for a few credits, MCC has the program for you. Flexible schedules, affordable tuition, and expert faculty. Do you have a busy schedule but still looking to continue your education? Check out the online programs MCC has to offer. Earn your degree completely online. It's all here at MCC. Enroll today and start your journey to success. Visit mcc.iavalley.edu.
Welcome back into Bobcat Live here at Rosie's inside of Wayward. Again, December 8th through 13th is Ugly Sweater Bowling, so you come in with an ugly sweater and you will get a free shoe rental. Not an ugly sweater, a nice quarter zip over here. Coach Michael Apple sitting at 2-2, and a little bit that first week Lincoln game. It was tight down the stretch, couldn't make the plays. Newton, I think they hit every single three you could possibly hit in that third quarter. This week, or last Friday, Des Moines East, you kind of got yourself right, and then a good defensive effort, big night on Tuesday night, going to 2-2. 4 games in, how would you classify the season so far?
Well, I think our guys have made a lot of growth and continue to get better, each week, each day, and that's been really the story of why we've had success as of late. We've just learned from our mistakes and continue to work and continue to get better.
And so I'm looking at, coming in Lincoln, that third quarter was a problem. Newton third quarter was really a problem. East, it wasn't all easy sailing, but it seemed Hoover on Tuesday night, that third quarter was really where you locked in and really extended that after they had a halftime lead. Is there anything different that you saw Tuesday night coming out of that second half that you did not see in those previous 3 games?
Well, I just thought we stuck with it and found a way to win a game, and we executed when we needed to and made shots when we needed to. Up to that point, our offense struggled, just with our execution, just fluid. And as you saw against Hoover Tuesday, that's just gotten so much better. Guys are getting more comfortable out there, understanding what we're trying to do, understanding the shots we want to take, and taking good shots. But I mean, from our first game, the effort's been there, and we've really bought into being a defensive team and getting stops, and that's going to be our identity. Is everything starts on defense, and that's going to initiate what we want to do offensively. And if we can get stops, if we can hold teams from scoring, a lot of points and control the game, you're going to give yourself a chance to win a lot of basketball games. And some of the best defenses by not turning the ball over on the offensive end. Sophomore point guard Drake Gersma, been good. He's been good. Tuesday night, 9 assists, no turnovers. Yeah. When you're looking at a sophomore point guard and that's what they put out, what does that do for your coach's heart? Is that like the Grinch where your heart grows 3 times? No, it feels like it. It's exactly what you want from a point guard. And, Drake's got a very high basketball IQ. He's always making the right play and making the right pass. And a lot of times he's has the ball in his hands, majority of the, to get us in wherever we're running. And he's the guy that usually ends up with it to try and make that pass and make that read. So there's a reason why we run a lot of the stuff we do the way we run it, and he's doing a great job. Yeah, that when I saw that after the game, that one surprised me, just the fact he didn't turn it over at all. Yeah, and he's really gotten better, it seems, each and every game, and you would expect that from sophomores going from no varsity to then being thrown in playing point guard, which may be the most difficult transition you can make. And then you look at, I know Jacob Hayes had struggled really just getting anything going offensively, defensively in that first week. Last 2 games, though, both in double figures, 4 for 4 the other night. What can you say about him? And it seems shots are starting to go a little bit. Is it just time? Is it something that maybe you worked on in practice? What do you feel that transition has been? I think it's just been the shot selection and the shots he's deciding to take. Some of them, the earlier games, we're shooting them quick, and it's not just Jacob by any means. It's all of us as a team. We're shooting them quick where we're 1 or 2 passes in, and sometimes when you just let it flow and you get that ball movement and then it comes back to you and your feet are set, those are the ones you're going to shoot. And Jacob did a really nice job of that against Hoover, and we've talked to him about that, and he's really listened, and he understands what we're trying to do, and that's the shots we want him to take. And one of the things looking at, of course, Kyle Smith, just under 20 points a game. Percentage-wise, he's not shooting it from 3 as well. He's down about 32%, some of those rush shots that you were talking about. But I thought Hoover, he made 3 3-pointers, and last year that would have meant maybe 10 points. Mm-hmm. This year he had 27, and he is now, seems in all those games, he's much more comfortable putting it on the deck, shooting it free throw line, getting to the lane. What can you say about his maturation on the offensive end? Yeah, just watching film with him and him understanding what a good shot and a bad shot is going to help him out, tremendously. And what we talked to him about, he put on the floor against Hoover, just, his shooting, he shot around 60% on the game, and that's just a huge difference. And the biggest change was just his shot selection. His shots were so much better that he took, and that's going to obviously help him and help our team, with our scoring and him being able to score points.
All right, really, the last question I have is, all right, this team is kind of set up. You're shooting it well from three, shooting it well from the free throw line, not turning it over too terribly much, and now you go up to Mason City. You split it last year, and by split it, I mean the average difference in points was a half a point, a 2-point win and a 1-point loss. This year, Ty Evan Sanchez really killed us last year. A guy who didn't really play, Andrew Novak, is the one that's leading them in everything.
Yep.
What really is the big challenge going up to face the River Hawks tomorrow night?
It's going to be their physicality. We got to be ready to play and match their physicality. They're Mason City always plays hard. They're always excited to play us. So we got to make sure we block out. We don't let their defense affect what we're doing. They're going to try and pressure us. They're going to try and speed us up. They're going to change their defenses. They'll try and press us at times. They'll drop back into a 3-2. They'll trap us. They'll do a lot of different things. So we got to be prepared. We got to understand and realize what they're doing defensively. Not let it speed us up. Execute. Get good looks. Be patient. Move that ball, and if they're going to do some of that stuff, we'll get really good looks.
Fantastic, and that will be here on Bobcat Live. Watch our socials, watch the Bobcat Sports on Facebook and everything, just in case there's any weather changes for tomorrow's matchup against the Mason City Riverhawks. We'll have the doubleheader, both girls and boys action tomorrow night on KFJB. Thank you very much, Coach Michael Apple, and when we come back, we will have sophomore utility man Jamison Niehaus with us here on Bobcat Live.
Do you know Lennox Employees Credit Union makes loans for recreational vehicles? So if you'd rather be enjoying this winter on a snowmobile, the Lennox Employees Credit Union makes loans for them. Plus ATVs, jet skis, boats, and trailers. The loan process is so easy. Loans for used vehicles like campers and snowmobiles are available too. Get rate info at lennoxecu.com. Fun things up with help from Lennox Employees Credit Union, 1004 East Main Street in Marshalltown. Member NCUA.
'Tis the season at Greg Young Chevrolet of Marshalltown. Starting Black Friday, when you buy a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you'll receive a 65-inch TV and up to $500 to spend at local businesses. It's the perfect time to upgrade your ride and celebrate the season. But hurry, this offer ends December 31st. Visit us on South Center Street just north of Highway 30 or online at GregYoungMarshalltown.com. Make this holiday season one to remember with Greg Young Chevrolet of Marshalltown.
Welcome back into Bobcat Live here at Rosie's here inside of Wayward, and we are a little bit of technical difficulty here. Yeah, we're on. There we go. Hello. We are on. Whatever I touched, it worked. But here we are with Jamison Niehaus. I am Midas or the reverse Midas, but we have some good news from the Roundhouse as the Marshalltown Bobcats were able to wrestle away a victory from the Lincoln Rail Splitters 71-6. And that also on KFJB-TV. So big win. And then looking here with Jamison Niehaus. You've won 2 in a row here. How does that feel coming after two losses, maybe a demoralizing one against Newton?
It feels great. The first week wasn't what we hoped for,
right?
But we really bounced back this second week, and we hope to get a win on the road tomorrow.
And so it's interesting. One thing we noticed with you, the moment Xavier Anderson went down on the football field, is it wasn't even every game you got better in that linebacking crew. It was basically every defensive possession you came back with something else. So every coach will say it. You know where to be, you know what to do, and you have the athleticism to back it up. It's not that you're not the athlete, but your brain first and knowing the game is really big. So coming in as a sophomore, very successful freshman basketball season, what was it like to catch up to the speed of varsity versus freshman?
I mean, it's really different. Varsity's a lot faster, but in practice, with Coach Apple, Coach Brinyard, all the varsity people from last year, Jacob, Kyle Smith, it really just helped us get ready for that first week.
And then you look at when you look at the game, I thought Des Moines East was one that perfectly encapsulates kind of how you play. Is you knocked down 3 of the biggest shots in a tight contest, and you did not hesitate one iota. You saw it, great looks, 3 3-pointers. What's going through your mind when you're getting a shot like that? What's going on in your process?
I mean, I really wasn't thinking. It just kind of came to me. I was really wide open. I don't know. It just felt right. That warm-up, I felt great. It was just, it just came to me. It felt good.
And every shooter will tell you if you thought anything in that moment, that's the wrong answer. So that you weren't thinking is about the perfect thing. You just got to let it go. So now you're sitting at 2-2, and you have a big matchup against Mason City, a big trip down there. Mm-hmm. As you've looked at this week, coming off of Hoover, how has practice been? How does the team look getting focused for a big Riverhawks matchup?
I'd say we're getting focused. We're getting more. We're going to execute more. In practice every day, we're learning things. We're getting better. As the games and weeks go by on, we're just getting better.
And so looking at one of the things noticed a little bit in your game in the first few games, that offensively you've got a great nose for the basketball. You can rebound. You can do a little bit. It seems defensively you might be growing already in that. A couple late rotations in that Newton game. Seems that you've learned from it. What are the biggest learning curves as you continue your first year in varsity rotation?
Closing out, it's like I said, it's different from freshmen.
Yep.
It's varsity, it's faster. Just gotta close out, high hand, stay lower.
Well, and I really think that is what makes this team so fun to watch. If you have not been out to the Roundhouse, this is a very young basketball team. This is a team that's going to basically, outside of the really good work of Will Swartz, Lamar Johnson, and Adam Boone, there's a lot of juniors and sophomores on this team. I really think they have a high limit. Come out and watch them, because each game you guys are growing exponentially. That's a big thank you to Jamison Niehaus. We're going to stay on the basketball court, but we're going to switch it to your 4-1 Marshalltown Bobcat women's head coach, Brian Murphy, when we come back on Bobcat Live here on KFJB-TV.
The right insurance agent can make all the difference. Assured Partners agents represent multiple insurance companies. They can pick and choose from a larger variety of outstanding insurance options. Assured Partners also handles life and health insurance and Medicare supplement coverage. With access to local, regional, and national insurance companies, Assured Partners will create policies tailored to the coverage you need. For more information, go online to assuredpartners.com/Marshalltown. Power through partnership with Assured Partners in Marshalltown, Toledo, and West Des Moines.
Legends American Grill is the perfect place to watch your favorite team. Enjoy wings, nachos, steaks, and prime rib available on Friday and Saturday nights. It's game on for great food and your favorite drink to wash it down. You like burgers? Legends has fantastic, unique burger creations like this. The Legends Burger. Absolutely delicious. Gather with friends, enjoy your favorite team's games with the NFL Sunday Ticket, and make some memories. Legends American Grill in Marshalltown and our new Newton location, where the game is always on.
Into Bobcat Live here at Rosie's inside of Wayward. I'm here with Coach Brian Murphy of the 4-1 Marshalltown Bobcats, but my producer Brandon Lewis is out here doing some crowd work, so I think we have a question.
When's the first time you ever called me producer? I think that's the first time.
It is.
All right, we got a question in the audience.
What are the high hands and then stay low?
What
there you go, Brian. floor is yours.
So you want to drop your hips so you're balanced, but hands high to contest the shot. So that's the idea.
There we go. It's also a coaching clinic here. So
There we go.
and you can do all the coaching clinics you want. You sit at 4-1, and really the last couple games, not disparaging any competition out there, but it was really about the Bobcats getting right themselves. So looking at after a tough loss to Newton, where offensively it just really was not a good night whatsoever, what have you learned from your team since that Newton loss?
Well, I mean, I think the first thing is, looking at the season, we knew we liked the way our schedule started. I mean, as a team, we were talking, our goal was 5-0 to start, and I think we'd all agree we'd really like that Newton game back, especially getting back healthy at that game where, down 2 guards against a kind of a high-pressure team puts you in a tough spot. So, but otherwise, I think the thing that we've started to recognize, and this really came through against Hoover on Tuesday, when the ball has flow to it, when the ball has that energy, the ball has a way of finding its way into the hoop. And so, I mean, that was something I really felt good about against that Hoover team is, obviously it may not have been the highest caliber of defense, but the ball movement created a lot of good shots. And when we shoot in rhythm, we feel really good about the way we're shooting. And so, I think I said post-game that, we hit 8 threes, and that has not happened in my tenure. And so that's something that we feel really good about is our ability to knock down shots and generate that positive momentum on the offensive end.
And we've talked about the three-point shooting being one of the reasons that I think you sit at 4-1. Last year shot 13%, this year 28%, but you have 5 shooters with multiple threes. That's a huge, huge deal. And then you look at the East game where you had 9 turnovers. Tuesday night you were up at 19, which is your average. Looking at the turnovers where it's 10 turnovers better than last year, where are you at as far as ball security and what you and your staff would like to see?
Yeah, I think our ball handling has tightened up quite a bit, where I think our ability to handle pressure has improved quite a bit. I think one of the things we were just talking about tonight in practice is we do a good job of reading cuts. We don't do a good job of reading when cuts are open. Yep. And so I think that's kind of our next level is recognizing that sometimes you got to let somebody go. They made a great cut, give them credit, but let the offense keep flowing and not forcing them in because, even if that ball gets through, a lot of times it's in a tough position. So that's kind of the next level and that's that basketball IQ kind of growth that we're still working on day in and day out of, setting up your teammates with a good pass and not trying to force things where even if it gets through, it's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a really good insight because it does seem that late cut where that second defender comes is where a lot of those turnovers happen. You're looking at Sydney Capeyu's back in the lineup after she had been ill and aggressive, continuously aggressive. She wasn't just aggressive against South Tama. That seems to be her mindset this year. What would you really focus on when looking at her game of what has been the big step in her just aggressive play?
I think the number one thing with her is confidence. I think even last year to some extent, but 2 years ago for sure, we were almost having to beg her to shoot from the outside. And the time and the work she's put in, you can see the confidence now. There's no hesitation, and that's what you have to have as a good shooter is you cannot hesitate. You've got to expect every shot to go in. And I think, to me, that's the biggest shift from last year to this year is, she's trusting in her own shot, and she's seeing the results pay off in a big way.
It's interesting that she was on a couple weeks ago, and she was talking specifically about her freshman year and just how scared she was. So it makes a lot of sense from that. But then you're looking at Frankie Long now that she's been able to stay in more ball games. Foul trouble hasn't been as severe. Ellie Hughes, that front line has been really effective as well.
Yep, for sure. And, we've always kind of run a lot of our offense through our posts in many ways where just a little bit of stability is always good. Ellie's somebody that for years we've trusted the ball in her hands where she makes really good decisions. She has kind of a knack for recognizing where the ball belongs, where that next pass is. And it's kind of a luxury to have when you have an upperclassman with that level of vision and stability. I mean, that's the word I continue to use with her. She just stabilizes us on both ends of the floor, and it's exactly what you want one of your upperclassmen, your seniors, to do for you. So certainly running the ball through her almost always results in a positive play, and Frankie's somebody we're going to keep getting the ball to in good spots, and continue to hope that she finishes a little bit more of those at the rim, and use that physical play to get a few more and ones than we've gotten so far.
And when you look with a little bit of an injury situation with Kinsley, but you're going up to Mason City, really a lot of Mason City games have been lost between the three-point lines. It's it struggled against their press. What would you say the importance of looking at Nia Lott coming off the bench, Morgan Hildebrand, but then your starters of Millie Heitman? I assume Sid will handle the ball as well. What do you think is really the big thing tomorrow night, getting up to Mason City and not just competing but getting a win?
Yeah, one of the things we saw against Newton especially is I thought we handled the press fairly well, where we were breaking it, getting across half court, but then we were never settling, right? We were never getting into an offensive flow, and we felt rushed through a lot of that game. And that's going to be the biggest key against Mason City. I mean, we have to assume they're going to try to extend the floor and pressure us up the floor. And, I feel pretty confident about our ability to handle that no matter who's on the floor, but then continuing to handle it once we get into the half court and not rushing shots, rushing passes. So that's going to be the big thing, because I think in a half court setting on either end of the floor, we feel really good about our chances. We've just got to make sure that we're mentally disciplined and not allowing them to speed us up where we're not making the right choice consistently.
And maybe Mason City, more than any other team in the state, looks a lot different. They've had names. Reggie Spots, I've never done a Mason City game without her playing. So when you look at this team, who are you looking at as really their go-to girl tomorrow night?
Yep. So when you look at their roster from last year, out of their top 8 scorers, they're bringing one back, technically 2. So there's 2 sisters, the Fall sisters. One was out with an ACL injury last year, so she is back this year. And then Trask is their returner from last year that was a starter. So, statistically, they have 2 girls averaging over half of their points. And so there's a pretty clear-cut mission for us defensively, is limit the production of those 2, make any of the other 4 or 5 players in the game try to beat us. And at the other end, we love how balanced we are. I mean, I think we are a hard team to scout, because on any given night, girls can step up. And so we love our balance against their a little bit more top-heavy approach. So you slow theirs down and make sure our balance wins out.
Fantastic. When we come back, we will be with senior forward Ella Hughes here on Bobcat Live.
Wayward Social is the place for fun. With 20 lanes of bowling, leagues for all levels, great food and drink options, an awesome arcade, there is a ton of fun to be had at Wayward Social for date night, family fun, or the company party with plenty of space for everyone. Visit Wayward Social on Facebook for updates on specials and live music. It is all on South 6th Street in Marshalltown. Visit wayward-social.com to start planning your group outing at Wayward Social, the place for fun.
Sportsmanship starts with us.
As a student athlete, I need to model good behavior and represent my school appropriately.
That means respecting my teammates, coaches, opponents, the officials, and fans.
If I do that, so will others, and being a good sport becomes a way of life.
To all of Iowa's student athletes getting ready to compete, remember, sportsmanship starts with us.
Welcome back into Bobcat Live here at Wayward Social, where cheese balls are $2 off here tonight. I am with Ella Hughes, leads the team in steals, second in rebounds, decided to just start shooting threes as well. You had two threes Tuesday night. Are those the first threes you've hit at the varsity level?
No.
No, you've hit more. I was trying to rack my brain. Is this a new part of your game that you want to really exploit, or were you just joining in the three-point party Tuesday night?
Well, with not having Kensley on the court, and she's mainly a three-point shooter,
Right.
Murphy said that like our team needs to step up and take those shots, and so, I mean, why not start at Hoover, I guess. So.
That's right. Start it on the road, then bring it home. Actually travel it up to Mason City again as well. One of the things that I think of specifically with you is your sophomore year. We hadn't heard a whole lot, but very quickly when you got on the court, you were like, oh, Ellie Hughes does some good things. And then seeing you now as a senior having your best year yet, how do you think as a player you've grown the most?
Definitely my confidence and just like being a good teammate, and I think that leads to a lot of good things with my basketball abilities.
And when you look, often you're playing that forward position, and it's easy to be overshadowed maybe by Frankie Long, the block shots and things, but you from a rebounding perspective on the offensive glass, defensive glass, have been one of our better rebounders at all levels. What is it about rebounding that makes you so effective?
Because I just like rebounding. I've never really been like the best shooter and stuff, and so I think like trying to improve my rebounding to help the team out instead of just focusing on many things. I like to focus on rebounding.
And one of the ways that you've scored really efficiently this year is off a lot of off-ball cuts and things like that. That to me shows that your basketball IQ from your sophomore year coming in to understanding it now as a senior has just jumped off the page. What has been most important for you to better understand the game of basketball and what you should do while out there?
Definitely slowing down a lot. I think my first couple years I was going so fast, and like we were like cutting, like the whole team was cutting at the same time, and so just waiting and looking for the right time to cut, and it usually happens.
Yeah, and you've done a nice job finishing around the rim. You go up to Mason City. Mason City has not been kind to you in your career. Those have not been my favorite trips, and probably not yours as well. Either. When you look at this team, what are you looking for out of your teammates and out of yourself tomorrow night to compete up in Mason City?
We definitely have to bust our butts on defense, but also just taking our time and playing our offense, especially because they only have like 2 returners, and so we can definitely do good on that, and so just playing our offense and hopefully scoring a lot.
And so you look at last year, you won 6 games, and this is my last question for you. You won 6 games last year. That had been one of the best outputs in years. This year you sit at 4-1. When you look at kind of what Marshalltown basketball was when you started to where it is now, how proud are you of yourself and the other leaders that over your 3 years on varsity, how much you've grown?
I'm just so proud because I feel like a lot of people overlooked our team, and so like winning these games and showing people that we're actually like not bad, and so just keep winning. I don't know.
Well, you know what? 4-1 is the definition of not bad. So thank you very much, Ellie Hughes. When we come back, we will have the assistant AD, Stacy Galima, will actually have her soccer hat on as we will talk Marshalltown Bobcat girls soccer here on Bobcat Live.
Marshalltown Community School District thanks you for voting yes in the referendum to move forward with the plan to remodel and modernize Miller Middle School and the enhancement to Franklin Field. We will continue to provide updates about this exciting project as they move forward in the process. There is so much positive energy for the future. Thanks for saying yes to our students and yes for Marshalltown. To learn more, go to marshalltowncsdfuture.com. Some say life is like a road trip. Is it a coincidence Scooter's Coffee is a drive-thru? We don't think so. Whether you need a coffee while you enjoy the view, to just get you through the long stretch or to refuel between stops, Scooter's Coffee is there, brewing up delicious coffee, espresso blenders, smoothies, iced drinks, and more, with the convenience of a drive-thru so you can stay on the road and enjoy the ride. So go ahead, scoot on around. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooters in Marshalltown.
Welcome back into Bobcat Live here at Rosie's inside of Wayward. When wrestling update, Bobcats got the first one 71-6 over Lincoln, and still on KFJB-TV at 7:30 will be the Waterloo West Marshalltown duel. I am with the assistant AD, Stacy Galima, but you're here for soccer.
There you go.
Soccer, and people may say, it's very cold. Are we playing soccer outside? No, we've got a couple things going on. Is the holidays, and you all are doing a really cool fundraiser, and I see you brought props as well. Can you tell us a little bit about the ornament, and then how can we purchase them?
Sure. So we have these ornaments that we had. They were actually donated, so everything that goes, and when it's purchased, the entire amount goes to girls soccer. So that's pretty cool. They're $10, made out of wood, hand painted. Very cool. I came from an idea that you look around a tree, you don't have much Bobcat stuff.
Right.
You see all these other sports, activities, different places, things like that, and there's never been a Bobcat one. So that was an idea a couple years ago, and it just kind of fell into place this year. And again, we didn't want to do anything sport specific. I'm a long-time proud Bobcat, so I wanted to, anytime you get Bobcat stuff out there is a good thing. So just wanted, just wanted a chance for alumni or students at school or whatever to have some Bobcat stuff at home.
Broadcasters, that's right.
That too.
And so you can get a special one where it's a Bobcat on this side and our face on the other.
Nice signature or something.
That's right. So how much does it cost, and where can you get it again?
Yeah, so they're $10. I have them with me in the athletic office if you're ever at the high school. You can also reach out. Again, you can give me a call. We do have home Bobcat basketball games next week. We do have the Bobcat swim invite on Saturday that I'll be around for. So happy to, if you're around, you can also give the athletic office a call, and we can coordinate a time. Again, they're $10, and the entire amount goes to the girls' soccer program.
So it is the season of giving, so take 20, one for yourself, one for a friend, because if this is a Marshalltown Bobcat, a Marshalltonian, or somebody that's an alum, this is an absolute great gift. But there are some girls soccer open gyms this month as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about the open gyms there?
Sure. Soccer is a sport a lot of girls want to play all the time. We encourage a lot of our girls to play other sports, as you can see in the girls basketball team, girls wrestling team. We also have some cheerleaders, so it's good for them to get out and do other activities. And then, of course, this is an opportunity just to get some touches on the ball and opportunities. Spring sports are always hard in Iowa because you're going from winter and snow and ice into trying to compete right away. So this is just an opportunity to get some touches and playing.
And one thing we've seen on the pitch is the Marshalltown Bobcats girls soccer program has continually gotten better year over year. And there's some we're seeing that in a lot of girls athletics, as there's a good group of female athletes coming through the high school right now. But from the soccer perspective, what really have you seen from the coaching that has enabled the Bobcats to get more wins out there?
On the soccer side, I think it's just their kind of dedication to the sport. A lot of them are, it's not just when you show up to practice. Right. You have to kind of invest yourself, from start to finish. There's a lot of things in the off season, of course, but even in your day-to-day, if you're thinking about it or trying to figure out, a lot of it's your mindset and things like that. And you can see it, as you know, you're talking about with girls basketball. Some of our other sports is tennis, golf, all those ones, having all sorts of success, and it's just great to see. And it kind of translates into other sports. And that's why you want, multi-sport athletes, because they kind of get that from one sport, translates to another, and they just build that Bobcat pride.
And so I'm going to give you one AD question as we wrap it up. As you're looking at this whole season, I think you live at the gym. I don't know if you actually go home at all. What is your favorite aspect of your role at the high school?
The events are always the fun part. Whether it's there's setup, there's cleanup, there's all the planning and things, but seeing the kids getting out there and competing, our alumni, our parents, our fans getting out there and getting to support them. That's easily the best thing about the job, and just being a small part in their success and getting them to see enjoy their time here in Marshalltown and hopefully well into the future.
And just so you know, she doesn't Hollywood it. It isn't a wave at halftime. Stacy is there before, and she's still there when we're packed up and going home. She is the real deal. So tomorrow we've got a big matchup, doubleheader, Bobcats against Riverhawks. Again, watch socials just in case weather does anything. Here in just about 25 minutes, you have Waterloo West and Marshalltown wrestling duel on KFJB-TV. Make sure to click to that live webcast. But this is Dylan Doze along with my producer, Brandon Lewis, for Bobcat Live. Thank you, Bobcat fans, for watching here at Wayward Social.